This show is part of the RetroZap.com podcast network.
Bam! I am recording. This is what you can look forward to on episode 203 of Skywalking Through Neverland.
Kanan, I love you.
I recommend watching it 10 more times, even though it's very emotional.
Guess who's going to be joining Mr. Hamill during his big day?
Who?
I got no poster. Give me Dave Filoni's hat.
And that Wampa is going to have a cool nickname now. So Hera didn't have to say to him, I hate your hair.
Lucas said, no, fans know you with the floppy hair, so floppy hair it will be.
Hashtag floppy hair.
Yeah. Through his blindness, he had gained so much sight, ironically.
Are you ready?
Welcome to Neverland.
Here we go.
A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away.
To all who come to this happy place, welcome. Disneyland is your land.
When I first made Star Wars, everybody in Hollywood said, well, this is a movie Disney should have made.
You're more than just fans. You're family.
Best day ever!
Secrets lab. It's about family, and that's what's so powerful about it.
Hey.
When you use a bird to write with, it's called tweeting.
When we visit the world of Disney, we never grow old. It's a Peter Pan, Never Land that keeps us young in heart.
This is Jedi Master Obi-Wan Kenobi, and you are skywalking through Neverland. I have a good feeling about this.
Hey, Skywalkers! So, have you had time to process the beginning of the end of Star Wars Rebels? Well, if you need some help, then you've come to the right place, and we want to welcome you all to Skywalking Through Neverland. We are your enthusiastic podcast destination for the many decades of your Star Wars and Disney fandom. I am Richard Wolosky, and now everyone please say hello to my sweetie wife Sarah. When she's not watching the Olympics, she's right here podcasting with me.
Yes, I've been dividing my time between the two. Olympics, podcasting. Olympics, editing. Olympics, podcasting. It's fun.
It's about a 80-20 split.
With 80 being the Olympics?
Of course.
And all the figure skating?
Whenever I can't find you, you're always in front of the TV, watching ice skating, ice dancing, ice fishing. Aerials,
all kinds of crazy stuff. All right, well, it is time, though. Now, we're going to set the Olympics aside, and we're going to give a big Wookiee hug to our family of Skywalkers. I want to thank you all for listening to the show every single week. I want to welcome you if this is the first time you're watching or listening. And also, hello to all the face huggers and the
YouTubers. Skytubers.
Skytubers, thank you, who are watching us right now live on YouTube and Facebook. And big announcement, you guys. On YouTube, we have over 1,000 subscribers.
1,009 to be exact.
Exactly. It's so exciting. So we want to thank you all. And if you have not subscribed yet, please head over to youtube.com/Skywalking Through Neverland to subscribe, because I just installed some new encoding software, and we can do all kinds of cool things with our live streams now. I might even, play some Galaxy of Heroes with you guys. What's this face, Richard?
The face is when you're not watching the Olympics, you're watching the Olympics and playing Galaxy of Heroes. And then when you have time, you can come podcast.
Okay. I'm lucky I have you.
You know what? You're a good multitasker. And yes, you are lucky to have me.
Yes. Well, we love it when you share our joy in this adventure through fandom. All of you Skywalkers. So thank you so much. You can tweet at us while you listen. We are at Skywalking Pod.
And if we hadn't said it enough, thank you to everyone who had subscribed. We put out the call asking everyone to get us over that 1,000 subscriber mark, and you did it. So thank you very much.
And we had a contest too for that. So in a little later in this episode, we will be revealing the contest winners.
Right, but right now let's reveal the fact that we are recording from Long Beach, California on February the 21st, 2018.
What was that, 2018.
I was trying to get a little reverb going there.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure.
Didn't quite work out. Sure, I could go to Premiere Pro and have them do it, or I could just try to do it myself. All right, so, Minnie, get me out of this jam. What time is it?
It's 3:47. Good afternoon.
Oh,
it is late. Well, you know what? Let's go back to the date here.
Okay.
It's February 21st.
Yes.
Sarah, can you name me 3 important occurrences, events, even birthdays that happened on February 21st? So let's play a little game called Today in Star Wars History, as seen on Twitter and Facebook.
Okay. Wait a minute. I'm getting the Force, and it's telling me that it's Anthony Daniels' birthday.
It is Anthony Daniels' birthday. He's the big 7'2" today.
Whoa.
72 years young.
Absolutely.
So, born February 21st, 1946. All right. Well, you know what? Let's go one further. Name me 3 characters, Sarah, that Anthony Daniels has played in the Star Wars films.
C-3PO.
Okay. Go ahead.
I don't know.
Okay. Well, he played a character in Revenge of the Sith named Danil Phaetani, and finally, after 6 movies, you get to see him unmasked.
Yes.
And you'll see him in the opera scene when Anakin goes racing by him, and he's walking up the stairs with an orange woman. I think her name is Trumpet. And then moments later, we see Lucas's cameo as Baron Papanoida.
Okay.
That's 2. Name me a 3rd character played by Anthony Daniels.
Wait a minute. Is it CZ3?
Oh my goodness. You reach down into your midichlorians and you pull that one right out.
In the show notes.
Oh,
okay.
All right, now tell everyone who CZ3 is.
He's in... Wait a minute. Is he in Star Tours?
No.
Oh.
He's the droid in A New Hope. After Luke and Ben sell Luke's Landspeeder to the Landspeeder dealer, off to the right, you'll see a very slow-moving, whitish Death Star droid.
Okay.
And that is played by Anthony Daniels.
Huh. All right.
They figured, you know what? This is all non-union. Anthony, you're here. Get in the suit.
Nice.
All right. Well, you know what? Name me another occurrence that happened on this date.
Well, I think...
Oh, Glenn Stein.
Yes, on YouTube has got it.
Oh, okay. Let's open it up to everybody then. To our YouTubers and sky huggers, face huggers. What else happened? Well, Glenn Stein got it. This was the day back in 1997 that The Empire Strikes Back Special Edition had opened.
Oh, yay! All near my birthday. Very exciting.
All right. You know what, Sarah? What was your favorite alteration or enhancement to The Empire Strikes Back Special Edition?
Well, probably the Cloud City things. I can tell you what I didn't like, and that was the part where Luke and R2 are in the Dagobah swamp, and R2 gets thrown out of the monster's mouth, and Luke goes up to him and says,
"You're lucky you don't taste very good."
That was so cute! And they changed the line in the special editions.
2.
You were lucky to get out of there.
And I was like, oh, I always loved that little line. It was adorable.
Right, but apparently they couldn't find the recording of that original line, so they couldn't get a clean version, a clean take of it, so they just went with this other take they had gotten from Mark Hamill and just inserted that in, hoping you or anyone else would notice.
Well, but I did like the Bespin, how they kind of expanded Cloud City.
Definitely,
that was beautiful.
Yeah. For me, I'm going with the Wampa scene. Okay. I've always loved the Wampa, but I was so disappointed that you only see a couple of frames of him. But now, you get a chance to see a whole body shot, a whole body sans one arm.
Okay.
And I really, really loved how they opened up that whole scene.
Yes.
All right, so as an extra added bonus, give me one more event that happened on this day back in 1997.
Well,
2 events happened in 1997.
I think it was
I'll
something
give you a hint.
Close to our heart.
Yes, has a Disney connection.
Was it Star Wars Weekends?
It was the debut of Star Wars Weekends.
Woohoo!
Were you there?
No, I wasn't there.
No, I wasn't there either. And unfortunately, there's no video of this anywhere that I could find. And I'm so disappointed because as the guests, they had Warwick Davis Anthony Daniels on his birthday.
Wow.
And Kenny Baker.
My gosh.
To get a picture with Anthony Daniels and Kenny Baker and Warwick Davis.
So
you know what?
amazing.
I would have paid top dollar for that.
Wow. Now, Glenn Stein, this just in, he says, I was there.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, Glenn, do you have pictures or video? We would love to see them. Post them on our Facebook group, please. Love to see those.
Wow.
Now here's a fun fact. Did you know that Star Wars Weekends wasn't always a yearly thing? It started in 1997, but then they stopped it until the year 2000 and went to 2001. So they skipped 98. They skipped 1999.
Wow.
Well, are you kidding me? The biggest year of the Star Wars comeback, and you're going to skip a year?
That's crazy.
But they did come back in 2000 and 2001 and skipped 2002, another Star Wars year.
Huh.
Who's in charge of planning these things?
Yeah, I wonder if at first they weren't sure it was going to be an annual thing.
Well, I'm sure that first year was just amazingly huge because it was the special edition year. So Star Wars was just coming into its second coming.
Yeah. Yes.
But from 2003 through 2015, it was a yearly...
An annual
event, yes. Either 4 or 5 weekends.
Nice.
And I'm so glad we got to go to the one in 2015. 2014, yes. I would have been bummed if we hadn't gone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was a really amazing time.
And that was our very first podcast meetup. We met the Chickafence. We met Matt Clifton.
Yeah.
We met a lot of people.
We met
Teresa and Tricia for the first time.
Well, exciting fun facts. Thank you, Richard, for bringing those up.
All right, now let's move on and tell everyone what is coming up on this big show.
We are going to be talking all about the kickoff for the finale to Star Wars Rebels with the episodes Jedi Night and DUME. And it's not just us talking. We have a very special guest. Johnamarie Macias from the WookieeGunner.com and Rebels Chat will be here to tell us all about the Rebels screening held at Lucasfilm and the panel that she moderated with Dave Filoni.
For those who have not seen the episodes, be forewarned, when we get into that discussion with Johnamarie Macias, there will be spoilers. Spoilers aplenty.
But we'll warn you.
Yes.
Don't you worry. Plus, we also have shoutouts, a Skywalker of the Week, and the reveal of our Black Panther Funko Pop Contest winners.
But first, this just in.
What?
This just in, thanks to our good friend Justin Smith, who had posted in our Facebook group. Guess who will be getting a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame on March the 8th?
I saw this news pop up in my feed today. It's Mark Hamill.
It is everyone's favorite Jedi Master / Knight / Moisture Farmer, Mark Hamill. So, Sarah, let's ask everyone who's going to be joining us down there in Hollywood, or up there in Hollywood, I should say.
Yes.
On March the 8th.
Who's going to join us?
Oh, we should do some kind of an event page.
Okay.
On our Facebook group. All right. Well, we cannot wait for this. This is going to be so exciting. It's only taken 41 years. But you know what? It's okay. We'll take it when we can get it. Now, did you know this? Mark Hamill will be the 2,630th star on the Walk of Fame.
The 2630? 200?
Yes.
Wow. I didn't know there were that many stars.
Oh, it goes up and down Sunset. It goes up and down Vine. It's all over the place. Now, if you're going to be joining us, just to let you know, it's going to be held in front of the El Capitan Theater, which is at 6834 Hollywood Boulevard. And if that weren't enough, guess who's going to be joining Mr. Hamill during his big day?
Who?
Oh, not just us.
Oh.
But George Lucas.
What?
Right there. I'm camping out tonight.
Right?
However, Mr. Lucas is bringing along another friend. Harrison Ford.
What? And these are confirmed?
These are confirmed. George Lucas and Harrison Ford will join Mark Hamill during his presentation at the Hollywood Walk of Fame presentation.
My goodness.
Now, there's going to be 34 honorees in 2018, including Zoe Saldana from Guardians of the Galaxy and Star Trek, Linda Carter.
Weird Al Yankovic.
What Star Wars connection does he have, Sarah?
He sings all the songs, but he makes parodies in Star Wars.
Yoda. Yoda.
But
as well as the Saga Begins song for Phantom Menace.
Mm-hmm.
Now, can you name some other Star Wars alumni that have gotten stars on the Walk of Fame?
Well, yeah, I mean, there's Harrison Ford.
Uh-huh.
There's also R2-D2 and C-3PO.
Well, hold on, put the brakes on.
What?
They got their footprints in the forecourt of the Mann's Chinese Theater.
Uh-huh.
They didn't get a star on the Walk of Fame. That's two different entities.
I thought they did the same thing at the same time.
No. Mm-mm.
No?
No, one is different from the other. They're independent.
Okay.
So you have Harrison Ford, who got it in 2003. You got Billy D. Williams back in 1985. And Sir Alec Guinness.
Yay.
As well as special effects wizard Dennis Muren. Now, name some Disney characters that have gotten stars on the Walk of Fame.
Well, I know that Minnie Mouse just got her star.
Yes, on January 22nd of this year.
They had like the whole Rock the Dots campaign for that. And also, I'm sure Mickey, if Minnie has a star, then I'm sure Mickey does. And Tinkerbell does. Hers is right in front of El Capitan Theater. I always say hi to it when I walk by.
Mm-hmm.
Who else?
Well, Snow White.
Oh.
She has her star. Winnie the Pooh. Donald Duck. The Muppets. And Kermit the Frog, who got his start back in 2003, and I was lucky enough to attend that ceremony.
Oh,
and
that's right.
I was lucky enough to talk to Kermit the Frog one-on-one because they left him on stage while they were breaking everything down, and he was just sitting there. Hey, Kermit, how's it going? We have a discussion.
Wow.
I asked him if he's friends with Yoda, and apparently he and Yoda are good friends.
Okay.
And he is loving the new Star Wars films.
That's so funny.
All right, Sarah. Now, let's reveal the contest winners of our Black Panther giveaway.
Okay, we had 2 giveaways. One was on Twitter. So I went to see who had retweeted our Twitter. And I kind of scrolled through the list. And Richard, you put your finger down. And we got at Ben 10 Dinosaur. So that is Matt Tapasio. So at Ben 10 Dinosaur, you have won a Black Panther Funko Pop. Congratulations!
Woohoo!
Yay!
So now they have to private message us.
Yes.
And give us your address so we can send this off to you. And you have to do it by March the 1st.
Okay.
We have to hear from you by March the 1st.
Okay, so this is our YouTube contest winner. We have the Black Panther Funko Pop and this Black Panther hat. And these are going to... Okay, Richard, you're going to put your finger down.
Okay, here we go.
Okay, ready? And then we're going to go scroll. Okay, don't look to 1, 2, 3. All right, I'm stopping.
Right here. This is the winner.
Okay, and it is Mike Moore. Congratulations, Mike Moore. Oh my goodness.
Nice.
Thank you for being a new subscriber on YouTube and helping us get that 1,000 mark. We are so appreciative. So Mike Moore, if you are watching or listening, please send an email to share@skywalkingthroughneverland.com.
And once again, you have until March the 1st of this year.
Yes. So congratulations, winners.
All right. Now, with that, Sarah, let's move on to our Star Wars Rebels discussion with Johnamarie Macias. And yes, there will be spoilers. Can't say that enough.
We can do this together.
Let's go get Hera.
You're in terrible trouble.
Hey, I've seen you before.
I have to tell you something. I hate your hair.
Let's go, Rebels.
Hang on!
I know what we have to do now. One last lesson.
Star Wars Rebels, the fourth and final season, is nearing the end. Last night, we saw the beginning of the end with a double header, which included episodes Jedi Night and DUME. But on February 16th, there was a special screening of 4 episodes at Lucasfilm, complete with Q&A with Dave Filoni.
The Q&A was moderated by Johnamarie Macias of the WookieeGunner.com and Rebels Chat. And now, she is here with us to talk about this very special evening. Now, Skywalkers, please be forewarned, there will be spoilers on these first 2 episodes.
Warning. Attention, Skywalkers! Spoilers ahead!
Warning.
Hey, Johnamarie!
Hey, guys, how are you?
We are doing good, but I don't think we had the weekend that you did.
I think you're doing a little better.
I know, I had a wonderful time in San Francisco.
So go ahead and make us jealous and tell us all about it.
So I had been in communication with a few people at Lucasfilm because I knew that the final episodes were coming around the corner, and I really wanted to participate as a viewer to see this, participate in a screening that everyone always talks about and takes pictures of. I'm like, oh man, I really want to go to one of those. And so I thankfully managed to set that up, and knowing that my mom's birthday was going to fall on that same weekend, I thought I should bring her along too. We're part of Rebels Chat, and I thought it would be a great birthday gift for her, seeing that she's never been to California before. So I had her tag along. I know. And so when we arrived on that Friday, we were treated to a nice little tour of the location there. And it was so awesome seeing all of the things that you normally see on like the Star Wars show or the Rebels Recon.
So you got a tour of the Lucasfilm offices at the Presidio.
Correct. Yes.
Oh, and that's amazing you were able to bring your mom and it was her birthday weekend because, I listened to the Rebels Chat and you guys have bonded over this show.
Yes. Yeah, so that was a real treat, and we even we got there a little bit early, so we took pictures in front of the fountain, the Yoda fountain, as everyone else does, and we also took a little walk around the park, and we thought, man, this would be a beautiful place to work.
You know what? If you want to tell your mom that you set the whole thing up just because of her birthday weekend, we will back you up.
I know, wink, wink. Yeah. So, and after the tour, I went ahead and took my mom to In-N-Out because I wanted her to have an In-N-Out burger.
You have to. When you come to California, you got to visit Lucasfilm, then go for an In-N-Out double cheeseburger.
Yes.
Exactly. And I prepared a little bit more because previously, like a few days ago on that Tuesday, I was asked to do the Q&A, and when I got that email, I actually thought it was a dream. Really, I didn't really. I was like, "Is this a real email?" And and it was about, I want to say it was about 1:00 in the morning when I read it, and I literally took 2 hours to figure out whether I should or should not do it because my nerves got to me.
Aw, well,
you know what? That is not fair for Lucasfilm to do that at 1 a.m. How do you sleep that night?
Right.
I know. Well, they were in California time.
Yeah, I was going to say that was like 10 for them, 10 p.m. But I have a question then. So were you able to see any of these episodes before you actually saw them, or?
You mean that night?
Yeah.
At the screening?
Yeah, so I, leading up to that day, I actually had to come up with a few questions just based on the descriptions of the episodes, like those 1-sentence descriptions. And then thankfully I had asked whether I could get like a press screener to at least, be fully prepared. And so that morning I had received a few details as to how to go about doing that. And I did watch the first 2 episodes. And I was like, okay, I think I'm set. I revised my questions, and then I read the schedule, and the little introduction that they set up for me said that there were going to be 4 episodes. And I thought, oh no, I am not prepared.
Oh.
Did they then give you the links to the next 2 episodes?
I had to watch the 2 episodes right there with the rest of the audience, which was pretty cool because I got the benefit of seeing them beforehand, the first 2 at least. So I at least I knew what points to grab from those episodes. But the rest of the other 2, it was fun to see it with the rest of the audience because my reactions were all over the place.
Yeah, and plus you were with Dave Filoni, who you ask one question and he goes off for 45 minutes.
That's true.
And he'll never answer the question you asked anyway.
Correct. But he was really good at answering the questions that I had. And at one point when I got to the latter episodes, I just had to just throw out words and terms at him because I just could not formulate the sentences to these like big concepts that they've introduced. And I won't go into detail about them, but I thought, I know he's going to take this and run with it. And he did. So I had my 15 minutes with him, and then we turned to audience questions for the remainder of the time.
Oh, nice.
So what was your big question you had all chambered up?
Why the hair? Why the new hair for Kanan?
Yes! Thank you!
So it up that way as a, I remember I opened it up as, we had to talk about the real tragedy of these episodes. And, you think that's leading up to Kanan's death, but it's actually just, the hair. Why? What did the ponytail ever do to you? So it was a fun way to get because, these were very heavy emotional episodes. So I really wanted to just have fun with it and just make the audience smile a bit.
Are we ever going to see this Q&A?
Yeah, it was filmed, and I'm kind of worried to see the footage. Mainly because everyone has a self-editing process. They're like, oh man, I wish I hadn't done that, or I wish I had said this. But I look forward to wherever they put that up. But I have a feeling it's going to be part of the Star Wars show in some way, mainly because they had those signs up saying that you'll be recorded, part of the audience will be recorded, and so I feel like snippets of it will show up in that way, and they can't release it just yet because we talked about some of the material from the next 2 episodes. So if they do release it in its entirety, I imagine it will be after these next 2 episodes,
or on a future DVD release.
Oh, that too. Yeah, that's right.
You'll be on the DVD. Look at that. Man. But you know what? Word on the street is that you did very, very well.
I hear, and I'm very thankful, very, very grateful for those comments because in the middle of it, I honestly, it was all a blur. So I'm like, man, what did Dave say for that question?
Oh, yeah.
That happens, yeah. And by the streets, I mean by our good friend Donald Wicks.
Oh, yes.
Who I was talking to today, and he was singing your praises. So
we're
very, very proud of you.
Thank you.
But now tell us about the big moment between you and Dave Filoni.
The big moment was when I presented him with this custom Funko Pop that I'd made of him. And I remember I purchased those materials last year, but I just never got around to doing them. And then when I found out that I was actually going to go, I thought, this is when I have to do it. So this was about 2 weeks ago that I started working on it. And every day was a new thing. It was a new coat of paint. It was another, final coat to seal it in. And the hat was its own little thing where I had to buy a Deadpool pop from what was it? It was from a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive. That was actually relatively cheap. It was about $10, and I cut off the cowboy hat off of him, so Deadpool had no head for this project. And I took the hat and I put it on Dave, and I used clay to put it all together, and it was a fun project. And I took some photos along the way, so I'll hopefully have those up in my Instagram soon.
Did he or anyone else know that you were going to do that?
No, this was a complete surprise to him. I did tell Tracy Canobio because I wanted her to be aware that this was going to happen, and I actually didn't know when to give it to him. And she's like, "You should totally do it during the Q&A, and I thought, perfect, that I'll do it then.
Nice.
Here, I'm going to give you a gift. Now, return the favor and answer my questions.
Yes. and the reason I did it was because I remember at Star Wars Celebration Orlando during the Forces of Destiny panel, Ashley Eckstein and Tia Sircar and Daisy Ridley all got their figures. And Dave's like, well, where's my figure? That was the inspiration behind it. And I thought, I should totally make him a Funko Pop at least, because I can't do any other figure customizations like that. So that was my first attempt, and I'm glad it came out that way.
I recall him saying that too.
Yeah, right.
So good for you.
Yeah.
Were there any other surprises during the evening? Any special guests or extended trailer for the next couple of episodes?
No trailers, but there was a poster that was given out. So everyone received the poster at the very end of the season 4 key art, where they're all looking at Lothal, and there's just chaos everywhere. And I almost missed one. I almost missed it because I was still, trying to realize and come to terms with the fact that this just happened. And by the time I got out of the theater, everyone had already scattered and the posters were gone. But thankfully, my friend and our friend Aaron Goins had an extra one, so he gave me that. So.
Oh, good. Wow, that would be nice.
Oh man, you know what? As you're leaving, if they had no poster, say, "Hey, I got no poster. Give me Dave Filoni's hat." You know what? It's your choice. I'm not leaving here without one of the two objects.
Yeah. Wow. Now, were there any cast and crew in the crowd?
No, actually, there was just a lot. Well, there was some crew. I think I remember seeing Keith Kellogg, and there was maybe I can't remember. Joel Aaron, maybe. I'm not sure. They like came and went because some of them couldn't stay for the entire evening. But most of the audience was made up of the 501st, and there was Rebel Legion there and a few other costuming groups. So that was the bulk of the audience.
Okay.
Right. Without giving anything away, what was one of the questions that really got Dave Filoni talking, either from you or from the crowd?
Oh, yeah. I want to say that in the crowd, it was more of it was a cute little girl. She was dressed as Hera.
Oh.
And when I saw her raise her hand, I was like, I got to get her, because whatever she's going to ask, I know Dave is going to answer.
Yep. Even if he just whispers it in her ear.
Yeah, exactly. But there was no whispering. He definitely shared that answer with us, and it was pertaining to the next 2 episodes, and that definitely got him going in terms of the inspiration behind some of the things that we'll see.
Okay. Did Dave ever get asked about Chopper's moment where he reached up to hold Hera's hand?
No, that didn't come up.
Okay.
I wish we had, but yeah, that's one of the things that I know the audience really was attached to, and there was a few awes in the audience.
Yeah, that was definitely the standout moment for me from the whole double night episode airings. Double feature. That's the word I was looking for. Yes. Yeah,
Oh.
Yeah.
definitely my high point.
Mm-hmm.
All right, now speaking of the episodes, let's now start talking about the episodes.
Woohoo!
Let's first give a synopsis of these 2 just to catch everyone up.
Here's the synopsis for Jedi Night. On a mission to rescue Hera from the Empire, the Ghost crew receives a devastating blow, and Kanan sacrifices himself to save the others. The mission was still successful at destroying the Empire fuel supplies, which halted Thrawn's TIE Defender project, and it also put Governor Price on Thrawn's bad side. Meanwhile, Ezra sets out on a new mission after meeting with a pack of Lothwolves who utter the words, Jedi Temple.
Oh. And then in DUME, following the loss of Kanan, the crew of the Ghost try to pull themselves together and realign their future. Ezra gets special direction from the Lothwolves, and the Death Star is now fast-tracked since Thrawn's TIE Defender program has been halted because of Governor Price's recklessness.
Uh-oh.
So, Johnamarie, give us your thoughts on these 2 episodes.
Yeah, it's a lot to take in. When I first watched them earlier in the morning that Friday, I was still in bed because it was very early, and I was covering myself with the comforter so I wouldn't disturb my mom, who was on the other bed in our hotel room. So I was just tearing up and crying to myself. And I eventually had to wash my face off in the restroom. But I really love the execution of these episodes and where they went with these characters. I know for a time I was against any character deaths because I wanted them to be a bit more original in terms of taking characters to different places, not necessarily killing them off because they had to meet the demands of the fans in terms of how the Jedi are portrayed later on in the future with Luke. So I really wanted them to go out of the box with this one. And even though they didn't do that, I thought what they showed us really was representative of what the Jedi mean. They're meant to be self-sacrificing. And I think Kanan lived up to that. And it just breaks my heart because you think about how he first met Hera and he was saving her. I think she was being attacked by a group of bandits. I don't exactly remember. And then, he's doing the same thing again. And this time his life is on the line. And I just thought it was all well done. I'm still trying to accept what's happening, what's happened. But I think it's definitely some great Star Wars storytelling.
Yeah, I know for me, for Jedi Night, that particular episode seemed very balanced. When Hera is put on lewds, I like to say, when she's shot up by the
mind probe.
Yeah, the mind probe
lewds.
Yeah, and so she's saying spouting all these things, and it's completely hilarious. And everyone, I mean, we watched it with a group of people, and everyone was laughing. And then the next minute, all of a sudden, Kanan is sacrificing himself, and you're like, wait, what? But it balanced each other out. You had these moments of levity with these moments of just sadness, and I really liked that balance.
Yeah.
You can't fall to the depths without soaring to the heights. So it makes everything, you just feel it so much more.
Johnamarie, I'm gonna back up what you had said, that this didn't really feel like it was out of the box. And after I had finished these 2 episodes, they were very emotional. However, it didn't go to the heights that Twilight of the Apprentice went to. I know you can't really always compare everything to that monumental arc, but I wanted them to go above and way beyond. And I love the series. I just want them to really reach outside of what I know they can do.
Right. No, I know what you mean. You want them to exceed expectations. I think for Kanan's death in particular, after rewatching it a few times, you pick up on a few cues where you know that Kanan is intentionally doing what he's doing because he's foreseen his death, or he's foreseen what he needs to do in order to accomplish the overall mission that they set out to do.
Well, I know we heard in Rebels Recon that Kanan's hair, that was a kind of a getting ready for battle or a cleansing act.
Call back to the samurai.
In a very dramatic scene, Kanan cuts his hair and shaves his beard. What does this moment symbolize for him?
It's a commitment to the moment. It's also ceremonially him understanding that this is a transitional moment, that he is not going to be the same. So it's almost a purification.
I think it was meant to sort of evoke what he looked like when he first met Hera. I think it was meant to sort of also evoke the feeling of a samurai going into battle and just stripping themselves of everything.
He is aware of what's going to possibly happen. He is aware of the possibility of his death. And in a way, he has to understand that might be his role, not to die, but to be selfless, to do things for other people, even at the expense of yourself.
The first thing actually that I thought of was Mulan.
Yeah.
That's I know people refer to the Princess Mononoke and all the other Studio Ghibli movies that have inspired the crew, specifically Dave. And there are certain things that you can pick up, certain similarities. But as a Disney fan, Mulan was the first thing that came to mind. And yeah, for her, it was a transformation, moving into a different self in order to accomplish a goal. And it was a very self-sacrificing goal because she knew that she was putting herself in danger for her father. And you can see the same for Kanan, and he's putting himself in danger for his family.
Right.
The first thing I had thought of was Mark Hamill in Return of the Jedi had really campaigned to George Lucas, let me cut my floppy hair off because now I am a Jedi. And like the samurai who do go through that transformation with their hair, he wanted to come in with like this buzz cut to show that he had grown so much and he was on the cusp of being a Jedi. But Lucas said, no, fans know you with the floppy hair, so floppy hair it will be.
So Hera didn't have to say to him, I hate your hair.
Hashtag floppy hair.
I hate your hair.
His story was fulfilled. He had mentored Ezra, he had mentored Sabine, but then when you see him cutting off his ponytail, you see him losing his lightsaber, and then he regains his sight for a couple of seconds, and through his blindness, he had gained so much sight, ironically, that everything was just all coming together, and Kanan's not going to make it off this fuel tank.
Right.
With that fire raging behind him?
Yes.
And when he and Hera are on that Lothbat glider thing, he tells her, can you make it to the fuel depot? So he had a goal in mind as to where to be at a specific point in time. And people are like, well, he should have just jumped into the into the ship and they could have gotten away. But the thing is, like Chirrut in Rogue One said, all is as the Force wills it. You know, the Force, the will of the Force wants Kanan to accomplish something, and it was this specific thing that we see happen, and I think that's why you get him seeing Hera for the last time, because he's losing that physical self and being more embraced by the cosmic force as you know, he transitions over into that. And I thought it was very subtle the way they played around with that. And yeah, I recommend watching it 10 more times, even though it's very emotional.
Yeah, I agree that he could have jumped into the ship. And I thought, okay, if he didn't do that, then he's got a bigger picture that we're just not seeing yet.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what about Governor Price and her recklessness in destroying that fuel tank? And that put Thrawn's TIE Defender program on a back burner, which means the Death Star will now take the place as the primary goal for the Empire. And now we can say it's Governor Price's fault that Alderaan has perished.
Oh, yeah, I guess essentially you can tie it back to her. Yeah, it's interesting how she ultimately accomplished the goal that the rebels had set out to do. And in her arrogance and trying to defeat these rebels once and for all, she was totally on a narrow path. And now I'm curious to see how Thrawn's going to deal with her, because wow. I do not want to deal with Thrawn's bad side, let me tell you.
No, I'm curious to see what's going to happen to Thrawn in these next episodes as well.
Well, you know, he's not going to deal with her swiftly.
No.
He's going to make her suffer mentally and a little bit physically, but more mentally, which is the worst way to go. Now, when she had given the order to destroy the fuel tank, Price must have known that was going to hinder the TIE Defender program, and I thought in the back of her mind that was her plan. Maybe Krennic had put the bug in her ear. Maybe there's more going on, and I really hope there is more than her just wanting to destroy this little rebel cell.
And not thinking it through?
Exactly, yeah. She's a smart character. There's got to be more to that. And without saying too much, Johnamarie, can you tell us if we're on the right track there?
All
right, never mind.
I honestly can't say.
Okay.
I think she just said a lot.
I know, right?
Or is that what I'm leading you to think?
Yeah. So I have a question for you, Johnamarie. Now, I know we've seen this Loth wolf, the white one, and those other wolves, the Loth wolves. is there any kind of connection between Kanan and the wolves that we see before season 4 of Rebels?
Are you specifically referring to like the big wolf that
yeah, because it seems like Kanan and that Loth wolf, the big one, have a connection, or he is the spirit of the wolf. What I'm wondering is, was there any foreshadowing of that in previous seasons that you can recall?
Good question. Just the little connection between how Bendu came about because of the imbalance within Kanan, and then that's how he got woken up. And I like to think of the Loth wolves showing up as a result of the imbalance that's happening on Lothal, and so you can kind of draw that connection there. And as for that big wolf associated with Kanan, I think what Dave had mentioned during that Q&A was that it's sort of a remnant of Kanan in the Force trying to act out the rest of his will. And so if I remember correctly, those were the words that he mentioned. So I'm hoping that's correct.
Okay.
Yeah, but I have a feeling that's what that is. It's just him acting out through the Loth wolves and still trying to carry out the rest of what he was set out to do.
Okay.
I'm wondering if there's any significance to the pattern on the Loth wolf's face. I'm wondering if those markings on the Loth wolf had been seen somewhere before, that we can start connecting the dots.
Oh yeah, like on the forehead, that giant sort of W. Well, if you guys go back to season 1 and 2, when Kanan had his shoulder Paldron armor thing, on his armor was a sort of like W symbol on it, and I think that's what they're trying to draw a parallel to, that this is actually the remnant of Kanan. And so that's a visual cue for us, in addition to him saying I am Caleb Doom, or I am Doom.
Right.
Yeah, so if you go back to his old season 1 season 2 costume, I think that's what they were trying to pull in there.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Yeah, we're looking at it right now.
Oh.
Never noticed that before.
Yeah.
So
I remember, because I wanted to ask Dave what's the significance behind that, but this was years ago that I wanted to ask him, like, what's the significance behind Kanan's symbol there? Because I always thought it was, if you go back to the Kanan comics with Janus Casimir, I forget the name of his species, but he was the one who took Kanan in. And I thought it looked like sort of like his hand in a way, because he had only 3 fingers. So I thought that was more like a symbol to Janus Casimir, but I never found out.
Well, there's definitely some kind of a connection there we'll have to look deeper into. Because, as we know, nothing here happens by accident.
No.
No.
Now, you know what? What do you think about the character of Rook? Honestly, for me, I still have not gotten on board with his character. I
Really?
loved him in the novel, but for the assassin that he built him up to be, so far he hasn't assassinated anybody.
That's true. Which is why I thought it was going to be between him and Kanan, like a final showdown, and he was going to come out having assassinated poor Kanan. I'm glad that that's not how it happened.
No.
Right.
But he hasn't really shown much success on that front.
Right.
Yeah, he needs to be knocked down a couple of pegs, right behind Greedo.
Well, he was knocked down a couple pegs, so now it doesn't seem like he's very effective or as strong of a force as he was in the Legends novels now.
Heir to the Empire.
Well, all those, the whole Thrawn trilogy.
First trilogy,
Yeah.
right. And even in that fight between Zeb and Sabine in the Invisible Rook,
yes.
It was fun to watch, but ironically, it looked kind of cartoony and felt cartoony. I know, that's why I say ironically, because it is an animated sequence. I don't want to call Rebels or Clone Wars cartoony, because they're not. They're animated shows. Cartoon is like Bugs Bunny and Roadrunner. But for some reason, I couldn't get on board with that whole fight. I like the way that they had given Rook that heat sensor mirage, like in Predator. So for us as the viewer, we know what's going on, and Zeb and Sabine are not just fighting the air.
Right.
For all the techniques that Rook has, I still don't get the fact that he is this all-powerful, cunning assassin.
Right. You know, and I also thought he was going to, at one point, I thought he was going to take out Price. Because he was moving toward her as Thrawn was reprimanding her. So I thought, oh man, this is how she's gonna go, by Rook's hand, and that didn't happen. So yeah, I definitely see your point.
Yeah, if you want Rook to go like mail a letter or go get some milk, he's good for that.
I think what would be interesting is to ask someone who's never read the Thrawn trilogy what they think of Rook.
I read these 25 years ago, so it's like I'm seeing him for the first time again.
Okay.
And when they had presented him at Celebration Orlando, I was, oh yeah, I remember this character, and he's not someone you want to deal with. I looked at him like we looked at the Inquisitor in the first season. Like, this is not a guy that you're going to walk away from. You've had it.
Right.
But we just haven't gotten there. And I want to love the fact that Warwick Davis does his voice, but you wouldn't know that's Warwick Davis doing his voice.
I agree.
And plus, Rook does not start with a W. Doesn't add up.
What?
Willow, Wald.
Oh.
Wicket.
Yeah. I
gotcha.
see. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Well, let's go. I have another question for both of you, and it is in the episode Doom, when Ezra comes out of his meditation, thank you. And he's got that stone with the carvings on it. And it has the hand symbols on the stone. So I know we took a poll when we had some people over as to what that meant. But before we get into that, Johnamarie, what do you think that means?
Well, when I first saw it, I thought it was some sort of maneuver or technique of like a fighting technique that Ezra had to learn.
Oh, wow.
And I'm just like, how does this fit into saving the temple? And I'm just like, I don't understand. I was very, very confused.
This looks like IKEA directions.
Yeah.
No words, just pictures.
Pretty much. And I found it interesting that in the episode guide, they actually posted the whole thing, and not just the very center with the hand signals. They actually posted the full tablet, and there's more to it around the edge. So if you guys get a chance, definitely hop into the episode guide there. I think it's in the concept art section. And I was like, oh, I can't believe they posted up the whole thing.
Wow.
But yeah, definitely take a look there, and you'll definitely get a hint. If you want to know sort of where they're going to go into the next two episodes, that will give you a hint.
Just looking at those three hand signals, I thought they were leading the crew that goes to Devil's Tower in Close Encounters of the Third Kind. I've seen those hand symbols before. Oh yeah, that's the way to communicate with those big-headed, skinny aliens. And maybe there's going to be a tie-in. Who knows? Or maybe you know, Johnamarie.
Well, I definitely know the meaning behind them now.
Okay.
But when I first saw them, I thought it was some sort of like fighting maneuver technique.
Is there a Jedi temple in Devil's Tower?
Oh, in Devil's Tower? Oh, no.
Are we getting a Close Encounters of the Third Kind tie-in?
You'll just have to wait and see.
Oh, man.
Now, is it the behind the scenes gallery? Let me see.
Yes, I believe so. It's where the concept art is located.
Okay. Yeah, this concept art is definitely Mortis
inspired.
Yeah.
All right, so how does this tie in with Mortis? Tell us.
No, we have to watch the episode.
No, I want to know right now.
Holy buckets.
No, definitely gotta tune in.
Yeah, I think we all knew coming into Rebels at some point they had to tie in to Mortis.
Yes. Well, even
the
trailers, exactly.
Yeah, exactly,
the trailers definitely had that. Well, I'm excited because the next two episodes, one is titled Wolves and a Door, and the next one is titled A World Between Worlds. And that one in particular sounds like this is where we're going to see this weird black and white world where Ezra is floating along in all the preview trailers. So I'm excited about this because I hope we're going to see some semblance of Ahsoka or her bird.
A world between worlds. That just says just call it Mortis. Mortis returns.
That's true.
That was actually my favorite episode coming out of that evening. I was just blown away. So prepare to be blown away.
Okay, good.
So now, without saying much, these next 2 episodes that you had already seen, are there pulse-pounding wow moments?
Yeah, for me there was, mainly because there's a point in time where you want a specific character to do the right thing, and I was with that character in doing that, and I remember, like, if I could have recorded myself, you can see how excited I was, and there was just so much emotion in that moment, and I remember the audience erupting into applause. And it's just, there's so much stuff that goes down that really, to me, is just some of the best Star Wars storytelling so far. And it's just, I cannot wait to hear you guys talk about it.
Is it going to rival Twilight of the Apprentice?
Yeah.
That is a great question, because Twilight of the Apprentice is some of the best stuff in this series. And I think it's definitely up there with that.
Okay,
Wow.
that's good to know, because so far, like, nothing has lived up to that moment in Twilight of the Apprentice. So
gotcha.
So, but still, I mean, this was close. I actually really enjoyed Jedi Night, even though it had the terrible ending, but it was still, like I said, I like that it was balanced and had good emotions.
And you felt the same way when we witnessed the loss of Jairus that we did when we witnessed the loss of Luke Skywalker in The Last Jedi, because they had put themselves at risk to save their friends, to save others.
Okay, right.
So as sad as it was when we lost Kanan, I felt that, wow, he did so much to help his friends, to help his now space wife, because they consummated it with a kiss, Hera.
Hera finally acknowledged.
It was a moment bigger than death.
Yeah.
Well, his death had purpose and meaning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know in that episode, as soon as Hera said, "I love you" to Kanan, I had a bad feeling. Just because it kind of goes back to that Romeo and Juliet syndrome. As soon as the two lovers finally consummate their relationship, then the stuff hits the fan after that.
Well, any last thoughts on these 2 episodes, Johnamarie?
Michael Pasquale on Twitter pointed out, and I remember that this came across my mind, but he pointed out that it was very A New Hope in terms of, you have Ezra and Sabine dressed as TIE fighter pilots, and you have Han and Luke dressed as stormtroopers, and there's the Obi-Wan character who unfortunately dies, and then you have Kanan who dies, and they're going in to save Hera, and then these other characters are going in to save Leia. So I remember thinking some of those similarities, but he reminded me and pulled that to the forefront of my mind. So yeah, that was a pretty neat parallel to draw from there.
Definitely. After knowing where these episodes go, I'm eager to see them again, not only to listen to the music a little more, which I found completely fabulous, but also to just see like what Kanan is looking at, find those little parallels, because as we know, nothing is done by accident.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you know what? Having heard from people at the screening about the emotional impact of the series and what we're about to see, I just can't wait. Yeah. And I'm so looking forward to it. And I know we're going to get those moments that I have been looking forward to.
Yay.
Now, these next 2 episodes, which will be airing on Disney XD, Wolves and a Door and A World Between Worlds, will air February 26th. Then the 90-minute conclusion that includes A Fool's Hope and Family Reunion will air on March the 5th. So, Johnamarie, any big plans for the finale night?
I definitely want to watch it with my mom, so hopefully she'll be here that Monday.
Oh, I hope
Just
so.
because I'm gonna need a buddy to hug.
Well, you know what? We will have an In-N-Out burger with your name on it and her name on it if you want to come on over to Long Beach, California.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we're gonna have a huge party for that.
What are your plans other than In-N-Out burgers?
Oh yeah, we're gonna have a watching party, Rebels watching party.
Invest in some Kleenex.
Yes.
And just get ready to talk the night away.
Yeah.
Now, if anyone wants to get a hold of you on social media, how do they do that? And while you're telling us that, tell us a little bit about your show, Rebels Chat.
Yeah, so on social media, you can find me with the username Blue Jaig Eyes, and that's JAIG. You can also find me at thewookieegunner.com, and that's Wookiee with 2 E's.
The right way.
Yeah. And Rebels Chat is basically a small little podcast with my mom and I where we talk about the Star Wars Rebels episodes and anything else in between, like the movies or Star Wars The Clone Wars. So as soon as Rebels comes to an end, we'll definitely be jumping onto season 4 of Star Wars The Clone Wars. And we just like to draw some parallels between Rebels and then the Clone Wars, especially and I just enjoy watching it with my mom because it's her first time watching Clone Wars, so I get to see it from her perspective while I get to rewatch it and relive some of the moments that I remember from those days.
Nice.
And we can find Rebels Chat at wookieegunner.com?
Correct. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Nice.
Yay! Well, thank you for joining us, Johnamarie, and telling us all about your experiences at Lucasfilm.
Thank you.
We couldn't tell you how proud we are that you made it up there to moderate this panel.
I know. I'm still shocked that it happened. So thank you so much. And thank you again for having me. I love talking with you guys.
I know what we have to do now. One last lesson.
Shoutouts, Skywalker shoutouts. Which Skywalkers get props from here in Neverland? Who was tweeted out? Shout out. Who was photoballed? Shout out. Who was shared a post? Shout out.
Well, I want to thank Michelle Morris, who I believe is watching live right now, because Michelle, you sent us a present for her 200th episode.
Look at this. It is a giant. This could be a flag.
I know. Well, okay, it's a giant Forces of Destiny sweatshirt throw, which means it's soft and it's light yet warm. And it's like the size of a queen-size comforter. It's amazing. So look, it's Rey. Look at how pretty she is. It's Rey.
Why is this covering my face? It couldn't come at a better time because it's like, 3 degrees out there?
Yes. Oh, it's amazing. I love it.
All right, so who is our next shout-out dedicated to?
Our next shout-out is to Patrick Pine. Now, he posted a lovely post in our Facebook group. And once again, our Skywalking Through Neverland Facebook group is a great place to get to know other Skywalkers and just share your thoughts and comments. So he posted a meme of Flynn Rider with a bunch of knives pointed at his throat. And in the meme it says, "When you say that, you like a Star Wars movie and a Star Wars fan group." Oh, and apparently people get upset. So Patrick Pine then wrote a lovely statement here. So I'm going to read some of it for you. He says, "Thank you, Skywalkers, for not being this way and for being such an awesome, supportive, positive, Star Wars loving community and family. Monday is not only the return of Rebels, but will also be my birthday. I plan on spending the day with my family and will likely not be around here much that day, so I wanted to send a special message and thank you to all of you. Star Wars has been an ever-present part of my life since its release in 1977. I've kept up with the movies, TV shows, books, comics, and more while still living a very full life beyond my fandom. I don't just automatically love a film just because it's Star Wars, and I think the Kool-Aid drinker types of comments some people make unfairly dismiss the genuine affections we can have for a film. I happen to love The Last Jedi. I received a lot of flack elsewhere for holding that opinion and didn't attempt to sway anyone else's opinion if they didn't like it, though I did attempt to have civil discussions over details and reasoning behind their issues, which didn't always go too well. I backed away from social media as a result of some of the more aggressive backlash, choosing to continue to see and enjoy this film, just as I have in past times where Star Wars was maybe not generally considered cool.
What?
I know. This group, this family, has been a beacon of supportive discussion, even though many here also had some issues with the film. I just wanted to express my appreciation to you all collectively for being civil and all-around great people, and a good example of how Star Wars fandom can be. Every year for my birthday, I give someone a gift, and this year, I'm showing my appreciation to all of you, as well as a few other gifts that I'm giving. Keep on being the wonderful community you are, and always remember, you know the rest.
Well, thank you very much, Patrick. That was very heartfelt. And a belated happy birthday to you.
Yes. So I really appreciate that when you guys have thoughts and comments and are happy to share them. We really appreciate that.
Gives you the feels. Mm-hmm. All right, now let's move over to our new Skywalker of the Week.
Here we go. Our Skywalker of the Week is
Neil Lowry. Neil Lowry.
Neil Lowry. We want to thank you, Neil, for always posting positive tweets on Twitter and proclaiming so many positive examples of Star Wars fandom on Twitter as well. So thank you so much. We see your tweets. I think it's nearly every day. He's just sharing the positivity. So thank you, Neil. You are now the Skywalker of the Week and a proud owner of your very own jingle by Rob Dellinger.
The John Williams of podcasting.
And speaking of Rob Dellinger, he has a new band called the Alpha Rhythm Kings. And if you want to see them, well, they are playing in San Francisco on February 23rd. And then on March 16th, he will be in Santa Barbara, California. And on March 17th, in San Luis Obispo, California. So please make sure to check out his website, alpharhythmkings.com, for more dates and further details.
Well, that wraps up episode 203 of Skywalking Through Neverland. We'd like to thank Johnamarie Macias for her great discussion on Star Wars Rebels. Please head over to her site, wookieegunner.com, and her podcast, Rebels Chat. And of course, we want to thank all of you Skywalkers for listening every single week and posting such positive thoughts on our Facebook group.
Absolutely. And please remember, go over to YouTube and subscribe. We're going to have some more fun live streaming events on YouTube now that I've downloaded this new encoder, and we're going to be trying some things. So, you know me, I like technology.
Yes.
New.
When we hit 2,000, party, party, party.
It's all party, party, party down there.
And that it will be.
So go to youtube.com/Skywalking Through Neverland to subscribe.
Now, speaking of party, 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 you want to head over there to retrozap.com, where you can find a party. You can find podcasts like Brews and Blasters,
The Warp Trails,
The Deucecast Movie Show,
Beltway Banthas,
Techno Retro Dads,
and Talking Apes TV,
where we're going to be celebrating the 50th anniversary of Planet of the Apes. There's been a lot of screenings here in Los Angeles, a lot of fun stuff coming.
I also want to bring up some articles at RetroZap, and one of them is MCU Location Scout, where Jovial J goes to find real-world filming locations behind Marvel films, and also Photographic Plastic, which is a series of articles by Bill Dranowski, where he takes his action figures on photo shoot adventures and shares them with you.
I used to do that when I was a kid. I would take my action figures out into the snow and out in the backyard and take all these pictures.
Yeah.
I love that.
I do that on Instagram with
yes,
my
you
Forces
do.
of Destiny
Yes, you
vids.
do.
Yeah. All right. Well, Skywalkers, if you want to find us during the week, we are everywhere on social media. We are at Skywalking Pod for Twitter and Instagram. And I am Jedi Tink on Twitter and Instagram. Richard, you are at Sith Rich. And we also have our lovely Facebook group. So please head over there, answer the questions that pop up when you request to join, and you will be part of a lovely community of fans. And you can email us, share@skywalkingthroughneverland.com.
And we want to ask everyone who has not yet to go over there to iTunes and write us a review. But please head on over there and tell us what you think.
Now stay tuned, Skywalkers, after the credits for little bits of conversation that didn't quite make it into the main show. There might be some loopy discussions. There might be some mess-ups. You never know. So...
No, we know. There's some mess-ups.
It's really fun. So, until next week, always remember...
Neverland on Alderaan.
Some imagination, huh?
To our Skywalkers and Tweetwalkers, thanks for listening. Skywalking Through Neverland is created and produced by Richard and Sarah Woloski. Original music by Rob Dellinger. Creative consultant Mark Augushowitz. Technical advisor Peter Heitman. Facebook administrators Donald Wicks, Joey Pittman, and Norma Heitman.
Skywalking Through Neverland is intended for entertainment and information purposes only. Any sounds, music, and clips played during this podcast are the property of their copyright holders. All original content is property of Skywalking Through Neverland, all rights reserved. Sorry, had to be said. You know, some people had said, oh, well, Luke he chopped off the arm of this poor Wampa. The Wampa was just looking for food. Well, you know, I can't look into it that deeply. You know, it's kill or be killed. So Luke didn't kill him. No. Sliced off an arm and went on his way. It wasn't like the Wampa was gushing with blood, so he was going to bleed out.
Right.
No, the lightsaber cauterized the wound. And he's just going to be an one-armed Wampa.
Yes.
You know what? I'm sure he can deal with that, as opposed to Luke having to deal with the fact that he's Wampa food.
And that Wampa is going to have a cool nickname now.
Which is?
One-armed Wampa. It's a cool nickname, okay?
Okay. All right.
But, okay, my favorite part of Empire Strikes Back Special Editions was that Han and Leia and their kissing scene, it was really, really big and really, really cleaned up, and I could stargaze into it and go, oh man. So that was my favorite part.
Okay, so seeing it on the big screen.
Yes.
All right, not really an enhancement, but you know what? It was enhanced because it was cleaned up, so yes.
It was very much cleaned up. From the thing that had been taped off of TV.
HBO?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, all right. So you know what? You checked off those boxes. Who is the actress in the new movies?
Who's the actress in the new movies?
Blanking.
Wonder Woman.
So Linda Carter, everyone's first Wonder Woman.
Gal Gadot.
Thank you.
Oh, they both got it. Claire Henry and Kristen.
Okay. So Linda Carter, before Gal Gadot, there was Linda Carter as Wonder Woman. And then as I'm talking to him, who walks up behind me but Sweetums? The big giant puppet Muppet costume character. But back then we had no YouTube, we had no iPhones. Wait, I do have a picture that, because I was there with Mark Augushowitz, he has a picture of me and Sweetums, but there's no video of me talking to Kermit and Sweetums right behind me, just like an old friends gathering. What I would do for that kind of footage.
Because that happens also in horror films when the two young kids, consummate their relationship. One of them dies. Like
when puberty kicks in.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it just
makes it that much more tragic. So.
Right.
I was like,
And there you
go.
Wait,
yeah. No, that was good.
Is there a tagline for Rebels? Something we can end on?
I can't think of one.
Get out your tissues. No.
And may doom be with you.
Follow the wolf.
Yes, you know what? Let's wear it for the remainder of the show.
Oh, we should. Oh, look at this. It's the Sarah wrap.
Wait.
What?
There's Mike Moore.
Yeah.
He's on YouTube.
Mike Moore.
Oh, hey,
Congrats,
Mike, guess
Mike.
what?
Yay.
You just won some prizes, some Black Panther prizes.
Woohoo.
Did you just join us? Oh, no, he was in there earlier.
He was in the chat. Yay. So, yeah, it's amazing. Glad. Oh, and then Michelle says, glad you like the blanket. And look, it's BB-8. Here, hold on. Here, scoot your hand. Look, it's BB-8. See?
Wah, 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 wah. And never leave your husband as a sports widower.
It's only 2 weeks every 2 years, okay?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.